This moment was planned just for you. My child, I have orchestrated every second of your day so that you would arrive precisely here reading this message. Nothing has been by chance. Nothing. This notification, this video, this unexpected pause in your day. It's all part of something far greater than you can currently see. What I have prepared for you will shift the entire course of your life. It's what your heart has longed for, what you've cried for through sleepless nights, believing it might never come. But I tell you, it is already on its way. I have released it. But before you receive it, you must understand what is happening in the invisible realm. Write with boldness in the comments. I surrender myself to the divine purpose and reject all attacks of darkness. This declaration is not just words. It is a spiritual key that opens unseen doors. When you write, you activate power. When you activate, transformation begins. You are aligning your spirit with the will of the Almighty, and hell has noticed. The enemy senses what is about to break open over your life. That's why, right now, he is preparing a counterattack, an ambush disguised as a harmless distraction. A subtle trap designed to pull you off the path I drew with my own hands. If you fall into this distraction, if you ignore this sign, if you miss this moment, the course that follows will not be the one I authored for you. This may be your last chance to escape emotional captivity, spiritual confusion, and relational traps. Either you return now, or you risk missing the turning point. If these words strike your spirit like an arrow, write with faith and authority. I choose God's plan and reject every trap of the enemy. This is not just a comment. It is a decree in the heavens, and those who decree in faith receive in power. You are sealing your agreement with heaven. If you believe this is a divine word for you, click like, not just as a reaction, but as a way to help this message reach others who urgently need liberation. Subscribe now, because what God begins here today is not just a visit. It is the beginning of a journey. You won't want to miss what is coming next. At the end of this message, as promised, I will reveal a key, an insight into the area of your life that has been blocked, hidden, or dormant. And I will speak the word that will activate it with power. Heaven already knows, and hell feels it. There are things the spiritual realm knows about you that you have yet to discern. While you think you're simply trying to survive another day, heaven has already inscribed your name on the timeline of transformation. Yes, there is a precise day when everything that seemed blocked will suddenly break open. A day when long-closed doors will swing wide. A day when what was seed will become harvest. That day is marked, and hell has felt the tremor of it. You have no idea how your endurance has disrupted the enemy's plans, how the nights you almost collapsed but chose silent trust, the moments you wanted to quit but clung to faith without knowing how, have activated movements in heaven. God has started to realign paths and untie promises that have been bound for years. And now the enemy is rushing to intervene. He knows he's about to lose the territory of your life. That's why the attacks have intensified. The mental weight, the exhaustion in your thoughts, the insomnia disguised as worry. Everything seems to be unraveling at once. Relationships strained, doors closing, confusion rising. But this is not a sign of failure. It is confirmation. You are on the brink of breakthrough. Declare boldly, I take possession of the victory God prepared for me and cancel every action of the enemy against my life. Every word you write becomes a seal in the heavens, an order that breaks chains and awakens what has been sleeping. The enemy knows the time of promise is near. Though he can't stop the hand of God, he will try to shatter your focus before you arrive. He knows that if you're distracted now, he can rob you. The harvest is ready, but those who are distracted cannot reap. Those who are discouraged cannot see. Those who turn back lose what was meant for them. Why you're under attack. This is why you've been under such intense warfare. Hell does not attack those off course. Hell pursues those who are about to break into their calling. You are more dangerous than you know, not by your strength, but by the truth you carry. You bring answers. You bring healing. You carry liberation for people who don't yet know you're coming. Your shift will not just affect you, it will affect your home, touch silent watchers, and dismantle demonic arguments within your own bloodline. And now I, the Lord, say to you, do not back down. Do not compromise your faith. Do not entertain doubt. Do not accept lies. You are crossing a battlefield because you are close to entering the territory of promise. That's why the last few days have felt unbearable, because when the night is darkest, the dawn is nearest. But listen carefully. At this very moment, the enemy is setting one final strategy in motion. It will come as fatigue, as a whisper that says you can't go on, or as a seemingly harmless invitation to rest. But in truth, it is a carefully designed distraction meant to derail you just hours before your breakthrough. The next step you take will be definitive. Either you move forward or you repeat the cycle. What comes next? In the next segment, I'll reveal exactly what type of distraction the enemy is preparing and what you must avoid in the next 24 hours. Pay attention. This is not symbolic. It is not a metaphor. This is exact. The enemy is crafting a temptation uniquely suited to your deepest vulnerability. He will not reuse what you've already learned to avoid. He is watching your soul, studying your responses, measuring your resistance. You are being observed not to defeat you, but because you are feared. Be watchful. The enemy's tactic is disguised as comfort. What the enemy is preparing won't appear as an obvious attack. It will look like rest, like affection, even like something you deserve. That's why I urge you to declare without fear. Write boldly in the comments, I follow the path of God and destroy every ambush of the adversary. This is far more than a simple gesture. It is a covenant signed in the invisible realm. Those who write with faith receive confirmation and divine protection. Let your words echo into heaven. In the hours or days to come, someone or something may appear before you offering what seems like relief, a proposal, a familiar memory, an old desire resurfacing. It may seem harmless, it may feel like an answer, but it will be the very thing that slows you down. This is the oldest tactic of the enemy, offering rest in the midst of battle, promising comfort where you should be on guard. He doesn't want to destroy you with pain. He wants to destroy you with false comfort. He wants you to lower your guard, to say, just for today, just this once, it won't hurt. And by the time you realize it, what looked like a momentary pause will have become a major detour. That's why I am warning you now. Be alert. Beware of sudden invitations. Beware of messages that reappear late at night. Beware of what seems too easy. Beware of those who return claiming they've changed without true healing. Not every reunion is from heaven. Not every closeness is reconciliation. Some are traps, strung with invisible snares. A spirit of distraction has been sent to weaken you before your breakthrough. And it will not come as a scream, it will come as a compliment. Not as an accusation, but as a memory. It will whisper into your weariness and speak directly to your needs. Declare now, I reject the lies of the enemy and embrace God's perfect plan for me. This is more than a comment. It's an alliance you're forming with the Almighty. It is the beginning of real transformation, a shift that opens the realm of the supernatural. The goal isn't to make you fall in an instant, it's to nudge you off course, just enough so that when your moment of change arrives, you're too distracted to recognize it. That is why I am urging you. Do not negotiate your focus. Close your heart to what pulls you backward. Refuse any comfort that questions your covenant with me. Do not reconnect with what I've already asked you to cut off. What seems like a small concession today could become a heavy burden tomorrow. You were not exempted from this battle because you were called to overcome it. You are going through this season because I chose you to break every cycle of repetition. But I need you to remain firm. I need you to understand what's at stake. The day of your change has already been marked. Heaven has prepared everything. But your watchfulness is the final seal. It's what will keep the doors open when the time comes, and that time is approaching faster than you think. Your name has been spoken in a spiritual assembly, and not by angels. You can feel when the atmosphere shifts, even if no one says a word. You sense the weight when it falls, even if there's no visible reason. You've had days when exhaustion came without effort, and foreign thoughts crept in like your own. That isn't normal. It isn't just emotional, and it certainly isn't just you. Recently, your name was spoken in a gathering where you weren't physically present. A place where no one saw you, but everyone knew who you were. The problem? That meeting wasn't among angels. It was on the other side. In that silent spiritual meeting, hell began to coordinate a new phase of attack against your life. Yes, the enemy convenes. He watches. He reports on your routines. He identifies your prayers. He studies your fatigue. He analyzes your responses. And your emotional exhaustion has become a gateway for many of these stealth attacks. Right now, with authority, I declare that I am protected by the Lord, and no weapon formed against me shall prosper. This written word is not a reaction. It is a heavenly seal, a declaration that opens the gates of blessing. By writing it in the comments, you are activating God's promise over your life. In that invisible meeting, your name was urgently mentioned because they sensed that your breakthrough was near. They saw that your recent obedience shattered structures that had stood unchallenged for years. They saw your resolve to press on even without strength, and it was enough to draw heaven's attention. That obedience sounded an alarm in hell. Hell's strategy is now clear. The mission? Prevent your continuity, disrupt your process, use any weakness, rekindle an old wound, reawaken a need, recall an offense, distort your emotions, and turn your mind into your fiercest critic. And the strategy is working with precision. You've felt it. You've been attacked in ways you cannot name. You've had thoughts that don't sound like you. You've carried burdens that don't belong to you. That is why I am awakening you now. Because I witnessed the conversation, I heard your name, I discerned the movement, and before any arrow is released, I am calling you to rise, because no meeting of darkness can overpower a soul that decides to stand. But hear this, the stakes are not small. What's on the line is your destiny. It's the path of your promise. It's the foundation for everything that comes after you. It is the rescue of others who are still trapped, waiting for your breakthrough to be their signal. It is healing for generations. This is the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new season. Hell has tried for decades to block it. That's why the attack has been silent, but strategic. No scandal, just weariness. No dramatic fall, just a slow draining of your strength. Now you find yourself confused, unsure of what's happening. But hear me. It's not about people. It's not about common problems. It's about a hidden resistance against what I am about to manifest. What hell doesn't yet understand is that I have already released the angel of your answer. The timing of your shift has already begun to unfold. They may have spoken your name in dark places, but I have written your name in the book of life. And the one I choose, I strengthen. The one I raise, I protect. The one I send, I preserve. But now, there is something you must do. Now is the time to take position. There is a stance you must take, because the days of ignoring the spiritual realm are over. This is not just a season, it is war. This is a call to positioning. This is no longer about empty talk, but about a living, active alliance. Today, heaven is not just watching. It is demanding an answer. Yes, I could comfort you. I could tell you that in time, everything will be fine. But that's not why you are here. This is not a moment for superficial consolation. It's a moment of spiritual confrontation. Write this now with faith and conviction. I rise in the power of God and nullify every strategy of the enemy. This is not just a comment. It is a spiritual declaration that moves both heaven and earth. When you write this, you proclaim your victory, because what is at stake is no longer just your present, it's your future. It's what comes after you. It's what is being built upon the decisions you make today. You've tried for too long to balance what gives life with what's been slowly killing you. You've attempted to reconcile my presence with what consumes your peace, your mind, your spirit. And now, you're tired. What once motivated you now burdens you. You've realized that the place you're in no longer carries your essence, but you still remain. You stay because you're afraid of what breaking away might cost. You persist because you believe you can fix something never meant to last. You cling to it out of a false idea of loyalty, loyalty to something that draws you further away from me. But listen closely. Heaven is requiring a decision, not tomorrow, not when conditions are ideal, but today. While you still have the strength to respond, you must choose. You can't continue trying to save what has already died. Nurturing connections that exist only out of emotional attachment, deceiving yourself in the name of a hope that did not come from me. Break away. Break with courage. Break with clarity. Break with everything that drains you, weakens you, and distances you from your purpose. I know your heart. I know you're not motivated by malice, but I also know that if you stay on this path, it will wear you down silently from within. You will fade, trying to preserve what I've already extinguished. You ask why everything feels cold, why the passion is gone. It's because your fire has been spent on things that were never meant to burn. You've poured your energy into places that don't nourish your spirit. You've connected with people who don't recognize what I've placed inside you. You ask to be lifted, but you lie down with what drags you lower. You ask for healing, but keep your wounds open out of fear or pride. You ask me to move, but you remain bound to ties that block movement. And what I desire now is not just to encourage you, I want to set you free. But freedom demands separation. It demands positioning. It demands that you say, enough. With the same intensity you once said yes, you must now say no more. You are facing a spiritual threshold. If you cross it in obedience, you'll step into an acceleration you're not even prepared to imagine. But if you draw back, out of fear, out of comfort, out of emotional ties, you'll relive the cycle all over again. The tiredness, the silence, the emptiness, the stagnation. I can only renew where there is surrender. Declare this now. I choose to walk in the light of God and undo every work of darkness against me. Your words are not just text. They are a covenant, a spiritual agreement that releases protection and sets the miraculous in motion. What heaven requires of you now is no longer prayer. It's decision. It's the end of excuses. It's the end of doubt. It's the beginning of a new path. But the choice remains yours. I can show you the way. I can illuminate the signs. I can reveal the dangers. But I will not make the decision for you. Today counts. Today is a day recorded in the realm of the Spirit. The decision you make will carry eternal weight. You continue clinging to what no longer has life, trying to preserve what time has already passed by. This constant effort to hold on to something I've closed is draining your strength. This isn't just physical fatigue, it's the weight of something that no longer belongs in your life. Clinging to the past means sacrificing the future I have prepared, not because the blessing is removed, but because your resistance prevents renewal. By refusing to release, you block the news. You're trying to rebuild on ruins that can no longer hold structure, and you feel the collapse, but don't understand its cause. The pain you're experiencing doesn't come from the loss. It comes from your refusal to let go of what's already gone. Each time you resist change, you feed a cycle that suffocates your spirit. There is no progress where attachment reigns. There is no transformation where the heart refuses to accept the closing of a chapter. This isn't faithfulness. It's fear in disguise. Fear of beginning again. Fear of letting go. But holding on to what was is denying what I promised. It's rejecting a greater purpose, one that only manifests when you have the courage to release. True freedom begins with the decision to disconnect from what binds you. Renewal begins with the understanding that not all chapters are meant to be rewritten. Some must simply be closed. The life I have prepared for you requires surrender, looseness, and enough faith to walk away from what once was and into what will be. There is no victory in attachment, only in detachment. No growth in the past, only in the willingness to step into the future. There is no peace in resistance, only in trusting me. Even when everything feels uncertain, I have already made the way straight. That way stands open before you now, waiting for the first step. But that step requires letting go of what is already dead. No looking back, no carrying grudges or nostalgia that sap your strength. Now boldly write in the comments, "I reject all oppression and take hold of the blessings God has prepared for me." This is not a virtual gesture. It is a sacred covenant. It unlocks doors in the spirit. When you write, you release the supernatural. Now more than ever, what is required is courage. Courage to abandon what no longer brings life. Courage to renounce the false comfort of what is familiar. Courage to trust me. Have the courage to trust me, even when the darkness of the unknown frightens you. If you choose that courage, I will walk beside you every step of the way, revealing the unexpected, renewing your strength, and drawing forth a future within you that overflows with hope and true life. You felt alone, even while surrounded by people. You've walked among others who fail to see the weight you carry, the emptiness growing inside, the silent struggle buried in your chest. This loneliness isn't a lack of company. It is the distance between your soul and those who do not see the calling within you. It's not a lack of friends, but of those who truly understand the path you're on. Many may stand near you on the surface, but few are willing to enter the depth your journey demands. You feel it. The lack of someone who listens without judgment, who walks with you without expectation, who understands without needing an explanation. That space of loneliness is where I long to dwell, not with mere presence, but with my voice, my peace, and my divine direction. You are not meant to carry this weight alone. Even when it felt like I was distant, I was with you. Every moment of silence, every tear shed in secret, I was there. Every unseen battle, every unspoken doubt, I held your hand. But to sense my nearness, you must step out of the crowd and pursue authentic intimacy. It is useless to surround yourself with noise if your heart is closed to what truly matters. You must move past the superficial to rediscover what is essential. The ache of loneliness is a call to transformation, a divine invitation to stop looking outward for what can only be found within. This is your moment to be reborn in real connection, first with me, then with those who genuinely add value to your life. If you keep trying to fill your emptiness with what does not sustain, that void will only continue to grow. You will keep searching in the wrong places, hoping to receive from those who cannot give. Frustration will follow. Weariness will build. You may even wonder if it's still worth trying. But pause here and declare boldly, "I am protected by the hand of the Lord, and no evil will prevail against me." This is more than a comment. It is a spiritual decree resonating through heaven, a covenant sealed in writing. And hear this clearly. It's okay. It's always okay, because the loneliness that gnaws at your heart is not your final destination. It is the fire of refinement, preparing you to shine with clarity and authenticity. I am preparing for you a sacred time of deep encounter, a time when the voice that speaks to your heart will become so clear that you'll never again doubt your significance. A time when loneliness will be replaced by true companionship, friendships that uplift, and relationships that strengthen. But it all begins with a decision to open yourself to what I offer, even when fear still echoes within. To stop the endless pursuit of pleasing others while remaining unseen. To recognize that your strength is rooted in communion with me. As long as that decision is postponed, you will carry the ache of absence in crowded rooms. You will long for something unnamed, something only I can provide. The cycle of loneliness ends when you choose to embrace my presence as the foundation of your life, when you allow me to become the faithful friend who never walks away. Yes, you've fought tooth and nail for protection. Still, you feel vulnerable, exposed to winds that seem determined to topple the little you've built. This frenzied search for security may be steering you away from the purpose I've written for your life. True protection is not found in walls built from fear, but in surrender to my will. It's found in the silent trust that stills every storm. Many seek to shield themselves from the unknown, but they forget. True strength is not found in resistance. It is born in surrender. You fear what you cannot see. You cling to frail guarantees, and still you remain restless. That's because the security you seek outside of me will never be enough to comfort your soul. I am your shield, your unshakable fortress. No circumstance or attack can dismantle what I protect. You try to control, to plan, to prepare every step. But when you resist what I've already aligned for you, everything begins to crumble. Human control is limited. My providence is infinite. When you surrender your understanding and fall into my hands, then you experience real protection. One not dependent on favorable conditions, but grounded in a living covenant no power can undo. I see every effort, every silent battle, every whispered prayer. Nothing escapes my gaze. Yes, I may permit certain storms, not to wear you down, but to teach you to trust beyond what your eyes can see. My protection does not eliminate the battle. It sustains you within it. You are in a season of refinement, a time when intentions are tested, true connections are fortified, false alliances are exposed. Do not lock yourself behind barriers that shield you not only from harm, but also from my presence and from the love of those I've sent to walk with you. Fear builds prisons, but you were not made for captivity. Let me guide you with wisdom and discernment. Do not deny yourself the blessing through caution born of doubt. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the unwavering decision to move forward despite it. This courage rests on the truth that I am with you. Trust my plan, even when you can't see the full road. Watch for the signs I place before you. They'll show you when to move and when to wait. Do not let peace slip through your fingers as you try to control what is beyond your reach. Stand firm in faith, faith that rises above uncertainty. True security is found not in human plans, but in being rooted in me. And now that I have placed this key in your hand, remember, true transformation does not come at the moment of hearing. It comes at the moment of deciding. Now declare in the comments with faith, I choose to awaken to the purpose God has for me. Seal your commitment by clicking like and subscribe to continue walking with me on this journey of transformation. You will never walk alone. I am with you through every uncertainty, every struggle, every moment of vulnerability. My strength is revealed when you recognize your weakness and surrender control. Rise now, in spirit and in truth, with faith that lives in your actions. Don't wait for perfect conditions, because it is in the storm that my glory is most visible. This is the time to break chains you've agreed to carry, to rewrite your story with fresh courage, to release the hidden part of you that only I fully see. Awakening might stir memories and feelings you believed conquered, shadows you assumed had vanished. But take heart. Every step forward undoes another knot of darkness. Every surrender strengthens your spirit and opens doors once sealed shut. You are about to undergo deep and complete renewal. You will discover paths that once looked permanently blocked. You will experience peace beyond logic. The activation I give you is the beginning of a life lived as a light in darkness, a voice in silence, a strength in vulnerability. This path will only be possible if you accept the call sincerely, with an open mind and a yielded soul. Declare again, with boldness, I choose to awaken to the purpose God has for me. Strengthen your decision with a like. Subscribe to continue this sacred journey. The time has come for a final decision. Do not let fear, doubt, or the noise of the world drown out the purpose I have for you. The protection you seek is not in walls or defenses. It's in trusting me with your whole heart. Place every step, every battle, into my hands. Rise with courage, knowing I am with you. No matter what comes, no matter the storm, wherever I am, there is victory. The promise is made. The path is open, and I will guide you far beyond what your eyes can presently see. Now write in the comments with conviction, I choose to trust God even when I cannot see the way. Let your like be a signal of faith. Subscribe so you won't miss a word that could transform your life. This is your moment. This is your victory. Do not back down. Do not hesitate. Do not hide. Trust, wait, step forward, because I am already preparing the miracle that will change everything forever. Let us pray together. Lord my God, eternal Father and source of all life, I come before you with an open heart, stripped of all masks, filled with humility. I acknowledge that without you I am nothing. My strength fades. My steps grow uncertain when I stray from your presence. You are my refuge, my resting place, my lighthouse on the darkest nights. Father, I ask you now, touch my soul with your infinite love. Renew my strength. Banish every fear that tries to freeze me in place. I lay before you every doubt, every anxiety, every shadow that darkens my thoughts. Teach me to trust, even when the way is unclear, even when storms rage. Show me how to be steadfast in faith, even when everything inside me wants to give up. Make me strong like a rock, but tender enough to hear your still small voice that guides and comforts. Don't let the noise of the world drown you out. Give me eyes that see beyond the now and a heart that follows your higher path. Free me from invisible chains to my past, from attachments that drain my peace, from fear that hinders my progress. Give me courage to let go of what doesn't build me up. Help me trust you with what I cannot yet see. I know true freedom is found in surrendering control and letting you lead me one step at a time. Thank you, Father, for never abandoning me, for being my shelter, for carrying me through pain when I had no strength left. Even when I didn't understand, you were working in love to prepare the best for me. Help me learn to wait quietly, to rest in your arms, to find joy even in the in-between, knowing that all things work together for the good of those who love you. Strengthen my mind and my spirit. Give me wisdom to discern what is from you and what is deception. Let me not be swayed by empty promises, but anchored by your truth, which lights my path and secures my steps. Fill me with peace that surpasses understanding. Let it rise not from circumstances, but from knowing you are here. Make me an instrument of your love, a source of hope for those around me. In the name of Jesus, your beloved Son, I pray and give thanks. Amen.